It is June 1944. The invasion of Europe hangs in the balance. But for every soldier preparing to storm a beach, there is another, hidden war being fought not on the battlefield, but at home. It's a war fought on rails, by the crews of Britain's munitions trains. These aren't just supply lines, they are the country's circulatory system, steel arteries pumping the tools of destruction from the factories to the airfields. Every single train is a rolling volcano, a miles-long fuse waiting for a spark. Most heroes fight the enemy, but some of the bravest men in England are the ones simply trying to get a train full of high explosives through the night, on time, and in one piece. For the crew, every journey is a tightrope walk over a sea of fire. They know that a single wagon in their convoy contains enough high explosive to leave a crater where a town used to be. Engineers, guards, and firemen live by a brutal set of rules, where the slightest mistake is unthinkable. They understand that one loose spark from a wheel, one sticking brake, can instantly turn their routine run into a nightmare of twisted steel and vaporized earth. Thousands of these workers perform their duties with a quiet bravery, fully aware that failure isn't just a delay, it's a catastrophe measured in thousands of lives, and as if carrying a rolling earthquake isn't enough, there is another enemy. German bombers hunt these trains from the sky. Saboteurs and spies stalk the rails, desperate to find a weak link and paralyze the entire war effort. This constant external threat is why every munitions train travels under a cloak of the highest security. They run at night. Their schedules and destinations are some of the most closely guarded secrets in Britain. The men and women who guard and run them are the unsung heroes of the home front, their contribution often invisible but absolutely essential. While soldiers face the enemy on the battlefield, these crews face their own mortal risks in the quiet English countryside. Their loyalty and courage ensure the front lines never fall silent for lack of ammunition. Their contribution to victory is as real and as vital as any battle won overseas. Our story begins on the silent night of June 2nd, 1944. The air across England is thick with the low hum of a nation holding its breath for the invasion of Europe. In the Whitmore yard, a heavily loaded ammunition train eases onto the main line. This is no mere freight run. It is a critical link in the immense logistical chain, a rolling payload of destruction aimed at the beaches of Normandy. As the locomotive hisses to life in the semi-darkness, every man on the platform understands the terrible potential coupled to the engine. They don't just see wagons, they see a fuse that stretches for miles into the darkness. At the controls of this rolling volcano is driver Benjamin Gimbert, a veteran railwayman, the kind of quiet, precise professional who knows his locomotive like an extension of his own hands. Beside him is his fireman, James Nightall, a man just as disciplined, just as focused. They are a seamless team, accustomed to the immense pressure of their job, and their mission tonight is brutally simple: get the cargo to its destination without incident. And what a cargo it is. Stretching out behind their engine sit 51 wagons, each one packed with a remarkable destructive power. They aren't carrying simple bullets or shells. The bulk of this load is heavy aerial bombs, the kind destined to be dropped from Allied planes in the continuing air offensive over Europe. Each wagon isn't just a piece of the war effort, it's a powder keg. Gimbert and Nightall know that for the next several hours, their world is just one wrong move, one single spark, away from vanishing in a flash of light. These aren't just bombs. They are the keys to entire operations, the linchpin of the coming air offensive. Every precaution is taken at every stage, but on this train, the burden of that duty rests squarely on the shoulders of the two men in the cab. Gimbert and Nightall carry this weight with a grim professionalism. They both know the terrifying physics of their cargo. They know one small explosion won't just cause damage, it will set off a chain reaction that will vaporize all 51 wagons in an instant. It's a thought they have to consciously push to the back of their minds with every click of the rails. And so, they perform their task, plunging their train and its terrible, vital cargo into the darkness, its destination a secret to all but a handful of men. The train barrels through the dark English countryside. The clock ticks past 2 in the morning, and the locomotive's rhythmic clatter is the only thing breaking the silence as they approach the small town of Soham. So far, it is just another run. For Gimbert and Nightall, this is the familiar routine of the job, and a practiced calm has settled over the cab. The faint light from the engine cuts a lonely path on the rails ahead. The rest of the world, and their 51 wagons of high explosives, have simply vanished into the darkness behind them. And Gimbert knows exactly what is in that wagon. It's not carrying shells or bullets. It's packed with 44 high-explosive aerial bombs, each one weighing 500 pounds. That's 11 tons of raw explosive power, burning just a few feet behind his back. These are weapons designed to flatten city blocks. The true horror of the situation slams into focus. He realizes that if the fire reaches those bombs, it won't just be an explosion. It will be a chain reaction that vaporizes the entire train, and that colossal blast will annihilate the sleeping town of Soham, which is now just down the track. He isn't on a burning train. He is on a lit fuse connected to a bomb of unimaginable power. He and Nightall have seconds to act before thousands of people are killed. Gimbert doesn't hesitate for a second. With the town of Soham now terrifyingly close, he slams on the brakes. The train screeches to a halt, and in the sudden, deafening silence, he turns to his fireman. But Nightall already knows what he has to do. While any sane person would leap from the cab and run for their life, Nightall does the unthinkable. He runs towards the fire. Ignoring the choking smoke and the waves of searing heat, he climbs down into the narrow gap between the engine and the inferno. His task is to uncouple the burning wagon from the 50 wagons of bombs behind it. This is a maneuver that requires precision and a steady hand in the best of times. Now, it's a dance with death. Every movement must be perfect. One slip, one jammed pin, and they both instantly vaporize. In an act of pure, cold courage, Nightall works the coupling and separates the fuse from the bomb. The 50 wagons of bombs are safe, but Gimbert and Nightall aren't. They have made a decision that defies all logic and every instinct for survival. Instead of running, they stay in the cab. Slowly, deliberately, Gimbert opens the regulator. The engine, now coupled only to the burning wagon, begins to crawl forward. Their plan is as simple as it is insane. Drive the bomb as far as they can, get it past Soham station and into the open fields beyond. The fire casts a demonic glow into the cab. The heat is blistering, but they press on. This is a suicide mission and they both know it. But every yard they cover is another family that will wake up in the morning, another life saved from the coming blast. They aren't just driving a train, they are piloting a sacrifice, trading their own lives, foot by agonizing foot, for the lives of thousands. And then, 140 yards past the station, their time runs out. The night isn't broken, it's erased by a flash of silent, brilliant white. A moment later, the sound arrives. A physical blow, a shockwave that rips through the countryside. Soham's railway station, the building they had just passed, doesn't just get destroyed, it ceases to exist. The blast wave tears through the town like a physical object, shattering windows in every house. Walls buckle. Roofs collapse. The ground itself heaves from the force of a detonation so powerful it is felt for miles in every direction. When the hellish orange glow finally subsides, all that remains is a raw, gaping wound in the earth. A crater, 66 feet across, marking the exact spot where a terrible power was unleashed, and the face of Soham was changed forever. As the sun rises over the wreckage, an unbelievable truth comes to light. For a blast that vaporized a building and was felt for miles, the number of lives lost is miraculously, impossibly small. The final count is not in the hundreds or even the dozens. The town of Soham lost 3 souls that night. James Nightall, the fireman, who rode the bomb to the very end, Frank Bridges, the station's signalman, who lost his life at his post, and a horse, unlucky enough to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. It is a stunningly small price for a catastrophe of this scale. A price paid in full by 2 men who ensured the list of the fallen would be a short one, with their own names at the top. In the village of Soham, the world ends at 2 in the morning. A single violent concussion blasts the entire population from their beds. People stumble out of their damaged homes, dazed and terrified, into a scene from hell itself. Where there was once a quiet night, there is now a pillar of fire clawing its way into the sky, churning out a column of thick black smoke. Panic rips through the streets as people try to comprehend what has just happened. The air is filled with shouting, crying, and the sharp crackle of burning debris. In one single blinding flash, the calm, quiet existence of a small English village has been utterly erased, replaced by the raw sounds of chaos and fear. Moments later, the sirens begin to wail. Local fire crews are on the road, racing not towards the crater, but towards an even more urgent threat. The town's gasworks. The blast has ignited the massive storage tanks, creating a second ticking bomb that threatens to engulf the area in another fireball. Illuminated by the towering flames, firefighters charge into the danger, throwing everything they have at the blaze. Their swift response pulls the town back from the brink of another disaster, but the brutal damage from the initial explosion is already done. As dawn breaks, the full scale of the devastation is revealed. But so is the full scale of the response. Emergency teams and army support troops descend on the town. They begin the monumental task of clearing rubble, assessing the damage, and most importantly, rebuilding the severed artery of the railway line. The collaboration between officials, the military, and the citizens of Soham is immediate and total. In an incredible display of wartime urgency, they achieve the impossible. By nightfall on that same day, a temporary station is in place, and through the still smoldering ruins of Soham, the trains are running once more. It is a thundering symbol of defiance, a clear message that even a disaster of this magnitude will not stop the war effort for a single day. The investigation that follows isn't searching for a saboteur or a German plot. It's searching for something far more mundane and far more terrifying. The culprit they discover is dust. Specifically, leftover sulfur dust from a previous shipment. The wagon that caught fire wasn't properly washed out before being loaded with its new deadly cargo. Highly flammable particles had accumulated inside, creating a hidden hazard just waiting for a spark. And as the train journeyed through the night, the normal friction and heat from the wheels provided that spark. The catastrophe that claimed the lives of two heroes wasn't caused by an act of war or a grand conspiracy. It was born from a simple, catastrophic oversight, a wagon that someone, somewhere, forgot to properly clean. The investigation uncovers a systemic failure. Under the immense pressure of frantic wartime schedules, standardized safety checks for cleaning procedures had been overlooked, a small lapse in an otherwise robust system. It's a chilling lesson in chemistry. Even a tiny amount of a flammable substance like sulfur, when combined with high explosives, creates an incredibly volatile cocktail. A single, overlooked step in a maintenance routine had set the stage for a national disaster. The tragedy at Soham forces a brutal reckoning across Britain's entire logistics network. Immediately, the old ways of doing things are torn up. New, extensive policies are rolled out, demanding that every single wagon be meticulously checked, washed, and officially certified before it can be loaded with munitions. This shift from a system of trust to one of strict, documented procedure becomes a watershed moment in the history of transporting dangerous goods. The lessons learned from Soham, written in fire and sacrifice, become the foundation of modern safety. The tragedy serves as a permanent, brutal reminder that in logistics, the smallest details matter most. The principles of preventive maintenance and a strict safety culture, born from this disaster, are adopted not just for wartime, but for the transportation of all hazardous materials. The names on the manifests may have changed from bombs to industrial chemicals, but the core lesson remains. Every secure delivery of a dangerous substance today owes a silent debt to the night a simple cleaning oversight nearly wiped a town off the map. For their incredible bravery, Benjamin Gimbert and James Nightall are awarded the George Cross. This isn't just another medal. It is the highest possible honor for civilian courage in the United Kingdom, an award reserved for acts of heroism so profound they rank alongside the greatest battlefield valor. It is a testament to two men who, when faced with an impossible choice, chose to sacrifice themselves without hesitation to save the lives of people they would never meet. Decades later, their sacrifice is not forgotten. In 2021, on the occasion of Soham's reopened station, a special plaque is unveiled. It is a simple, lasting testament, ensuring that every passenger who passes through this place will know the story of the two men who gave their lives to save it. It stands as a permanent icon of respect, a guarantee that the courage of Gimbert and Nightall will not fade into history, but will remain an inspiration for generations to come. But their legacy is not confined to a single station wall. Today, two modern, powerful locomotives thunder across Britain's railways, And on their sides, they proudly bear the names Benjamin Gimbert, G.C., and James Nightall, G.C. It is a living tribute, a constant moving reminder of their sacrifice, ensuring that the two railway men who gave everything on these tracks are never truly gone from them. The George Cross, the plaque at Soham station, the locomotives that still thunder down the tracks bearing their names. These are more than just memorials. They are a powerful reminder that the battlefield is not the only place you find heroes. The Soham railway explosion teaches us that heroism can be born in the quietest, most unexpected corners of the world. It's a story of two ordinary men who, when faced with an extraordinary crisis, made a choice to drive towards the fire, not away from it. Their courage saved a town and left a lesson written in steel and stone, that the truest measure of a hero is the sacrifice they are willing to make when no one is watching. Thank you for watching. If you believe stories of quiet courage deserve to be remembered, please consider subscribing for more.